Well, I think going forward, the new business models that leaders should be implementing are really ones that are dynamic. So decentralization is I think the way in which more and more organizations are going to move. It's harder for organizations to engage in command and control. So the ability to decentralize decision making at a lower level in an organization will be really critical for organizations to be able to adapt. I think the characteristics of leaders that will be effective going forward will be those leaders that are highly transparent, that are really comfortable giving information to individuals. I think leaders of old were hold on to information and provided them with a sense of power. I think the leaders going forward will be much more transparent about information. And I think they'll also be leaders who are much more comfortable in understanding that they must be about motivating people. So command and control is I tell people what to do, but motivating is about getting people to bring forth their best to a problem that maybe I don't even understand. So those two attributes I think will be really critical for leaders. Top tips. I think one, high-performing organizations experiment. So create spaces in your organization for your employees to experiment. Two, high-performing organizations learn, which means create space for reflection, because you're not going to figure it out, and if you don't reflect on what happened, you will not be able to get understanding. Three, create spaces that provides variety. So people get comfortable trying different things, and they get rewarded for trying different things, such that they're willing to sort of leverage and go back and forth. Those are three I think I'd be excited about. I think in team building, what you're finding is more democracy. Where the teams themselves are having to make more decisions, more allocations of resources, selection of who's the member of the team. There's always been self-managed teams, and that's been a trend that's been going on, but really high levels of democracy about teams voting on who gets hired, teams voting on who becomes the leader. And why that's important is it allows for greater connection to the commitment of what the team is trying to achieve. Well, I think the attributes that are successful in a team ultimately go back to the skill sets. And so what I would say is think about the profile or portfolio of skills that you have to have in that team. Is everybody come from the same background? That will enhance execution, but it may not give you greater effectiveness. So making sure you have representations across a wide range of expertise to accomplish the holistic aspect of that goal. To create a culture that is easy to pivot and innovate, first of all, don't wait to the moment when you need to pivot. You have to have created that resource. And I think experimentation cultures where leaders knowingly allocate resources towards activities that won't necessarily deliver value today, that gives you that reserve so people are always comfortable to pivot, to try, because they've become accustomed to experimentation. The successful CEO. Well, as an academic, I guess I can say it depends, but I think that is true. Are you an organization that's on an innovation journey? Are you an organization that's on an execution journey? If you're on an innovation journey, you want leaders who have transformational leadership skills. They engage in intellectual stimulation and motivation. If you're on an execution journey, you want transactional skills, high technical expertise. Both of these can be very successful, but what is the task that you as an organization have prioritized? And at a senior level, you really have to think about that, particularly if you're a board member picking your next CEO.